The vegetable myth after 60. Why not all greens are good. For most of our lives, one message echoed loud and clear. Eat your vegetables, they're good for you. But here's the uncomfortable truth. After 60, that advice can backfire. Because not all vegetables are created equal. And more importantly, not all are kind to an aging body. As we grow older, our bodies change in subtle but powerful ways. Our digestive enzymes decline, making it harder to break down complex plant fibers. Insulin sensitivity weakens, so high glycemic veggies spike blood sugar faster. Kidney function slows, making it harder to filter out natural toxins. And low-grade chronic inflammation quietly spreads, turning once healthy foods into hidden threats. Let me tell you a real story. A 72-year-old man decided to clean up his diet a salad every day, like the doctor said. His usual bowl? Canned tomatoes, sweet corn, and a scoop of mashed potatoes. All vegetables, all familiar. But after just a few months, his blood pressure climbed. His digestion slowed. He felt more sluggish, not more energized. What went wrong? On the surface, his meals looked clean and plant-based. But underneath, they were packed with high glycemic starches, BPA chemicals from canned goods, and almost no anti-inflammatory benefit. That's the danger of the myth. We think if it's green, or if it grew from the ground, it must be good. But your body at 60 is not your body at 30. It has new needs, new sensitivities, new rules. So what's the answer? Don't eat more vegetables blindly. Eat the right vegetables, the ones that support your body's stage of life. Because after 60, food isn't just fuel anymore. It's information. Every bite sends a signal. To heal, or to inflame, to protect, or to break down. And now, coming up next, we'll explore one of the most overlooked healing vegetables. Humble in appearance, yet powerful for your gut, your brain, and your longevity. Purple cabbage. Part 2. Purple cabbage. The brain and gut defender. You're probably ignoring. At first glance, purple cabbage looks like just a colorful version of the ordinary cabbage we all know. But the difference goes far beyond color. You see, that deep purple hue comes from a powerful group of compounds called anthocyanins, natural antioxidants that white cabbage simply doesn't have. These compounds don't just sit in your gut, they travel through your bloodstream, neutralizing free radicals that speed up aging and cell damage. But here's where it gets truly interesting, especially for seniors. Purple cabbage doesn't just protect your heart or joints. It works at the intersection of your brain and your gut. Modern science calls it the gut-brain axis, a two-way communication channel between your digestive system and your nervous system. And this is where purple cabbage shines. It's rich in both fiber and natural prebiotics nutrients that feed the good bacteria in your intestines. When these bacteria thrive, they help regulate inflammation, produce mood-supporting chemicals like serotonin, and improve how your brain processes information. There's a story I often share from a caregiver in Oregon. She was supporting her father, recently diagnosed with early-stage Alzheimer's. They made just one small change in his diet. Every dinner, they added a handful of raw purple cabbage tossed with green apple and a little apple cider vinegar. 3 weeks later, his digestion had improved dramatically, less bloating, more regular energy. Even his sleep quality and mental alertness during the day had noticeably improved. Was it a cure? Number? But it was a shift in the right direction. That's the lesson. Sometimes the smallest foods can have the biggest impact if we choose the right ones. Purple cabbage is inexpensive, stores well, and can be enjoyed raw, steamed, or lightly stir-fried. And when combined with healthy fats like olive oil, or paired with acidic ingredients like vinegar, your body absorbs those antioxidants even better. So before you overlook that oddly colored cabbage at the grocery store, ask yourself, is this the brain boost I've been ignoring? Because when it comes to aging well, digestion, memory, and inflammation all matter. And purple cabbage touches all three. Now let's move to another vegetable that often gets dismissed for its slimy texture but might be one of the most powerful natural blood sugar regulators you've never tried. Part 3. Okra for seniors. A natural sugar regulator or slippery trap? Let's talk about okra. Yes, that slippery green pod you may have passed over at the store or pushed aside on your plate. But here's what most people don't know. Okra contains a gel-like fiber called mucilage, and it's a game changer for anyone struggling with blood sugar or cholesterol control after 60. Mucilage acts like a sponge in your digestive tract. It slows down how quickly sugar is absorbed into your bloodstream, a natural glucose brake that's surprisingly similar to how some medications like metformin work. And unlike drugs, okra doesn't come with a list of side effects. Narrator. More direct tone. In fact, one clinical study showed that seniors who consumed okra daily for just 8 weeks saw their fasting blood sugar drop by over 20%. That's not just impressive, that's life-changing for someone walking the line between prediabetes and full-blown type 2 diabetes. And it's not just your sugar. Okra also helps lower LDL cholesterol, thanks to soluble fiber that binds to fat in your gut, helping eliminate it before it ever enters your blood. But here's the catch, and it's where many people go wrong. Overcooking okra destroys many of its antioxidants, especially quercetin, a powerful anti-inflammatory that protects brain and nerve tissue. And deep frying it? That turns a healing vegetable into a saturated fat bomb. I've seen it too often, seniors trying to eat healthier, but smothering okra in batter, oil, and salt, only to wonder why their energy crashes or blood pressure rises. Here's what works. Steam it lightly to preserve its structure and nutrients. Roast it dry. Tossed in a little olive oil and lemon. Or my favorite for people with diabetes, slice it thin. Sprinkle with toasted sesame seeds and a splash of apple cider vinegar. You keep the mucilage, the fiber, the antioxidants without the grease. Okra may not be love at first bite, but for many seniors, it becomes a quiet ally, regulating sugar, calming inflammation, and strengthening your heart without pills or prescriptions. That's the beauty of food when used wisely. It doesn't shout. It supports. Gently. Consistently. And speaking of quiet power, let's move to a root vegetable that's as vibrant as it is vascular and may be one of the most underrated heart protectors in your kitchen. Part 4. The beetroot advantage. How one root can power your heart and brain. Beetroot isn't just a colorful root vegetable. For seniors, it can be a powerful ally, especially when it comes to circulation, brain health, and blood pressure. Here's why. As we age, the inner lining of our arteries tends to stiffen. That means your blood doesn't flow as easily, and your heart has to work harder to push it through. That's where beetroot comes in. Beets are rich in natural nitrates. When consumed, these nitrates are converted into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and widens your blood vessels, improving blood flow and lowering pressure inside your arteries. Think of it like giving your circulatory system a wider, smoother highway. In fact, a clinical study published in Hypertension Research found that drinking beetroot juice daily for just 4 weeks reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 11 points in older adults. That's not just a number. That's the kind of drop that can move someone from high risk to safer range without increasing their medication. But beetroot's benefits go beyond the heart. In people with peripheral artery disease, a condition that makes walking painful due to restricted blood flow, daily beetroot consumption was shown to improve endurance and walking distance. Why? Because better circulation means your muscles get more oxygen, and better circulation also benefits your brain. Another study from the journals of gerontology showed that older adults who consumed beetroot before exercise had increased blood flow to the frontal lobe, the part of the brain responsible for memory and decision-making. That means sharper thinking, better focus, and stronger cognitive protection as we age. Here's the practical takeaway. Drinking a small glass of beet juice in the morning may do more for your blood pressure than that cup of green tea, and it supports brain health at the same time. But there's an important caveat. Beets are high in oxalates, naturally occurring compounds that can contribute to kidney stone formation, especially in people with reduced kidney function. If you've had kidney stones before, or if you're on certain medications, talk to your doctor before making beetroot a daily habit. Still, for most seniors, beets, whether roasted, blended, or juiced, are a deeply nourishing, natural way to support healthy aging. And now, let's turn to one of the most celebrated vegetables of the last decade. A leafy green that lives up to the hype, especially when it comes to your eyes, your bones, and your brain. Kale. Part 5. Kale, the silent guardian for eyesight, bones, and cognitive clarity. Kale isn't just a health trend, it's a nutritional powerhouse, especially for adults over 60. Its strength lies not in a single benefit, but in how many systems it supports at once. Let's begin with the eyes. Kale is one of the richest sources of lutein and zeaxanthin, two carotenoids that concentrate in the retina, particularly in the macula, the part of the eye responsible for sharp central vision. As we age, macular degeneration becomes one of the leading causes of vision loss. But regular intake of these compounds can slow that process significantly. Studies show that people with higher lutein and zeaxanthin levels have better contrast sensitivity, reduced glare, and a lower risk of macular degeneration. Kale doesn't stop at the eyes. It also supports cognitive clarity. These same compounds have been linked to slower cognitive decline in older adults, helping with memory, attention, and even emotional regulation. Then there's your heart. Kale is packed with magnesium, a mineral that plays a key role in stabilizing your heartbeat. Low magnesium is common among older Americans, and it's often overlooked. But without enough, you're more likely to experience arrhythmias, fatigue, and increased blood pressure. Plus, kale delivers a massive dose of vitamin K, over 600% of your daily need, in just one cup. Vitamin K supports both bone strength and vascular health, reducing the risk of fractures and helping prevent calcium buildup in the arteries. Now, here's where some caution is needed. Eating large amounts of raw kale, especially daily, can interfere with thyroid function. It contains goitrogens compounds that, in excess, may disrupt how the thyroid produces hormones, particularly in people with underlying thyroid issues. The good news? Light cooking reduces that risk. Sautéing kale gently with garlic and olive oil, or simmering it in soups, preserves most of its nutrients while making it easier to digest. One highly recommended option for seniors is a white bean and garlic kale soup. It's warm, filling, rich in fiber, plant-based protein, and heart-protective nutrients, all in a form your body can absorb efficiently. So next time you're looking for a vegetable that works quietly but powerfully behind the scenes, think kale. Your eyes, your bones, Your heart, even your memory will thank you. Coming up next, the comfort foods we've loved for decades, corn and potatoes, and why they may be silently sabotaging your blood sugar and heart health after 60. Part 6. Corn and potatoes. America's comfort food that betrays seniors. For many of us, corn on the cob and mashed potatoes are more than just side dishes. They're comfort, tradition, and home. But after 60, comfort food can quietly become a metabolic trap. Let's talk numbers. Sweet corn has a glycemic index of around 85, and white potatoes score even higher, up to 90, depending on how they're prepared. That means they spike your blood sugar quickly, even faster than some sugary cereals. In contrast, sweet potatoes sit around 50 and provide a slower, more sustained release of energy thanks to their fiber and antioxidant content. When you eat high GI starches like corn or potatoes, your body responds with a flood of insulin. Do this repeatedly, and over time, your cells become resistant, a condition known as insulin resistance. It's one of the early drivers of type 2 diabetes, belly fat gain, and energy crashes after meals. And here's the part most people miss. Corn, often thought of as a vegetable, is biochemically closer to sugar. It digests quickly, especially in processed forms like canned corn, popcorn, or cornmeal. In fact, the body converts cornstarch into glucose so rapidly that it barely registers as fiber. Potatoes, too, are often stripped of their skins where most of the nutrients and fiber reside. Then they're fried, mashed with butter, or drowned in salt, turning an already starchy food into a cardiovascular stressor. It's a common mistake, believing that just because something grows from the ground and appears on your Thanksgiving plate, it's harmless. But after 60, your metabolism slows, your insulin response weakens, and your organs become more sensitive to glucose fluctuations. So what can you do? Try simple swaps. Instead of corn, try roasted butternut squash or grilled zucchini slices. Instead of mashed potatoes, go for cauliflower mash. It's creamy, filling, and won't spike your sugar. And instead of relying on fast starches, try incorporating whole grains like quinoa or barley, which digest slower and support stable energy. It's not about giving up comfort. It's about redefining it. Comfort that doesn't come at the cost of your heart, your blood sugar, or your energy. And next, we'll look at a vegetable that looks beautiful on the plate, but can inflame your joints, irritate your nerves, and quietly damage your kidneys. Eggplant. Part 7. Eggplant. Beautiful outside, harmful inside. Eggplant is one of those vegetables that looks healthy, colorful, and elegant on the plate. But after 60, looks can be deceiving, especially when it comes to inflammation. The problem lies in a group of natural plant compounds called alkaloids, particularly solanine and nasoline, which are found in nightshade vegetables like eggplant, tomatoes, and peppers. For some people, especially seniors with existing inflammation, joint pain, or nerve sensitivity, these alkaloids can trigger immune overreactions. They act as a mild toxin that the body has to work to neutralize. In sensitive individuals, this can lead to increased stiffness, muscle fatigue, and joint swelling, often within 24 to 48 hours after eating. This doesn't mean everyone reacts the same way. Some people tolerate nightshades with no problem, but others, particularly those with arthritis, fibromyalgia, or autoimmune conditions, may find their symptoms quietly worsen over time, never suspecting their favorite grilled eggplant is partly to blame. One common mistake is how eggplant is cooked. It's often sliced, breaded, and deep-fried, soaking up oil like a sponge. Now you've got a dish that combines inflammatory alkaloids with excess omega-6 fats and acrylamides, from high heat cooking. That's a perfect storm for chronic inflammation in the body. But if you enjoy the taste of eggplant and don't notice any sensitivity, there are safer ways to prepare it. Try peeling the skin to reduce bitterness and alkaloid content. Slice and salt it beforehand to draw out excess moisture. Then roast it gently in the oven with olive oil, fresh basil, and pine nuts. This Mediterranean-style version lowers the inflammatory load while keeping the flavor. The lesson here isn't fear, it's awareness. Eggplant isn't inherently evil, but for the aging body, especially one already managing inflammation, it's worth asking, is this helping me or quietly holding me back? And coming up next, a vegetable that seems innocent and convenient but could be exposing you daily to hormone-disrupting chemicals linked to heart disease and even cancer. Let's talk about canned tomatoes. Part 8. Canned tomatoes and BPA. A dangerous mix for aging bodies. Canned tomatoes might seem like a harmless pantry staple, easy, affordable, and packed with flavor. But hidden inside that convenience is a chemical most seniors have never been warned about: BPA. BPA, or bisphenol A, is a synthetic compound used to line the inside of metal cans. It's designed to prevent corrosion and extend shelf life. But here's the problem. BPA is also a well-documented endocrine disruptor. That means it mimics hormones in your body, especially estrogen, and interferes with your body's natural balance. As we age, estrogen and testosterone levels naturally decline. But when BPA enters the bloodstream, it can send false hormonal signals, leading to symptoms like fatigue, mood swings, weight gain, and in some cases, even heart rhythm disorders. The danger is even higher with canned tomatoes because of their acidity. That acid breaks down the BPA lining in the can, allowing the chemical to leach directly into the tomatoes. So every time you eat that sauce in pasta, chili, or stew, you may be consuming low doses of a compound that's been linked to hormone imbalance, high blood pressure, and increased risk of heart disease. There's one story I often share about a retired teacher who loved making pasta at home. She avoided processed foods, kept her salt intake low, and exercised regularly. But her blood pressure kept creeping up and doctors couldn't figure out why. Eventually, they traced it back to her daily use of canned tomato sauce. She made the switch to fresh, homemade sauce, stored in glass jars, and within weeks, her numbers began to normalize. It's a small change, but one with powerful effects. If you enjoy tomato-based meals, you don't have to give them up. Just make the switch. Use fresh tomatoes, especially plum or Roma varieties. Roast them with garlic and olive oil. Then blend into a rich, natural sauce. Store in glass containers or BPA-free jars clearly labeled and certified. What you avoid is just as important as what you include. And for seniors, limiting BPA exposure can mean better hormonal health, better circulation, and fewer unexplained symptoms. Next, we'll shift gears from what to avoid to how to rebuild your plate wisely. In the next section, we'll explore smart vegetable swaps that support energy, digestion, and long-term strength, all with simple changes you can make starting this week. Part 9. Smart Vegetable Swaps. Building a senior-friendly plate. Now that we've uncovered which vegetables help and which ones harm, let's put it into action, because knowledge only matters when it shows up on your plate. The good news is, you don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Small, thoughtful swaps can make a major difference in how you feel not just today, but for years to come. Here are 4 simple swaps that support better blood sugar, brain health, and digestion for seniors. Swap corn for cauliflower. Corn may spike blood sugar, but cauliflower offers fiber, antioxidants, and a lower glycemic load. Steam it, mash it, or roast it with turmeric and black pepper. It's versatile and gentle on your metabolism. Swap white potatoes for roasted sweet potatoes. With more fiber, vitamin A, and a slower glucose release, sweet potatoes support stable energy and better insulin sensitivity. Add cinnamon and a drizzle of olive oil, and you've got a nutrient-dense comfort food. Swap fried eggplant for sautéed shiitake mushrooms. Mushrooms are rich in umami flavor, anti-inflammatory compounds, and don't carry the alkaloid risks of eggplant. Sauté them in garlic and toss with fresh herbs for a satisfying, joint-friendly side. Swap canned tomatoes for homemade tomato sauce. Roast fresh Roma tomatoes with olive oil, garlic, and a touch of basil. Blend into a rich, BPA-free sauce you can store in glass jars for the week. No hormones disrupted, just full flavor and antioxidants. And here's a key tip many overlook. Combine these good vegetables with healthy fats. Vitamins A, D, E, and K, found in kale, beets, sweet potatoes, and more, are fat-soluble. That means your body can't absorb them well without some dietary fat. So don't be afraid to add a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, a sprinkle of ground flaxseed, or a few slices of avocado to your plate. It's not just about taste, it's about unlocking the nutrition your body needs. When you stack these swaps together meal by meal, week by week, the results build up. Clearer thinking, less inflammation, stronger energy. And, in our final section, we'll step back and look at the bigger picture. What does all of this really mean for your health, your independence, and your future after 60? Let's bring it all together. Part 10. Final truth. Your plate is the most powerful medicine after 60. Let's take a step back. What you've seen in this video isn't just a list of vegetables. It's a map, a way to navigate the second half of life with more clarity, more energy, and more control. We now know the right vegetables like kale, beetroot, purple cabbage, and okra can help you fight inflammation, balance blood sugar, protect your memory, and keep your blood vessels flexible and strong. And the wrong ones? They don't just rob you of nutrients, they quietly accelerate aging, spiking your blood pressure, clouding your thinking, wearing down your energy until what used to feel normal is suddenly out of reach. That's why one truth stands out above all the rest. After 60, every bite is either building you or breaking you. And that truth should empower you, not scare you. Because change doesn't require a total diet overhaul. It starts with one small shift. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, choose just one vegetable from the danger list to swap out and replace it with one from the healing list. Replace canned tomatoes with homemade sauce. Trade white potatoes for roasted sweet potatoes. Let cauliflower stand in for corn. Or finally, give purple cabbage the place it deserves on your plate. Start there, then build from it. Your body is still listening. Your cells are still responding. And it's never too late to send them a better message. Now, we want to hear from you. Which vegetable are you going to swap first? Let us know in the comments below. And if you've already tried one of these changes, share your experience. You never know who you might inspire. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we've got more simple, science-backed tips coming soon to help you eat smarter, age stronger, and live better. Until next time, take care and take control. Thank you for watching. If today's video made you think or inspired even a small change in your daily habits, we'd love to hear about it in the comments. What healthy tip are you committing to this week? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more practical, science-backed health insights every single week. Your health journey matters, and we're here for it every step of the way.